Hello, gamers, learners, and future CEOs. Welcome to another session of Ofmos. Today we're going to be playing Ofmos Classic, which is the simplest version from the Ofmos family. And I'm going to be using an on-screen version. It's very manual, very rudimentary. I'm using Apple Keynote. I'm going to be moving the objects myself with the mouse, and I'm going to be adjusting the funds or the budget, if you'd like, manually. But at least it's going to give you a very good idea of how this game is being played and the potential for fun and how it can be used basically to create a learning platform, if you'd like, a big picture or scaffolding for any kind of situation where you want to talk about business or you have someone who is just getting started with understanding what's happening out there. So the first stage, we have to launch these business spaces. The pieces represent business spaces called Ofmos. Ofmos, it's short for Offering Market Cosmos. And we can see companies as collection of these business spaces, each one with its stream of profit. So in the first stage, we launch these one of each business space in each environment. On the board, you see 9 environments. On the horizontal, we have the product complexity or the complexity of the process of creating an additional unit of whatever that product is. And on the vertical axis, we have the perceived value. The higher the perceived value, the higher the profit margins. And you see those numbers at the corners of each environment. Those numbers are going to be used for us to calculate the cash flow or the cash in or the cash out, depending on the actions that you are taking. So let's get started. To launch an Ofmos or a product, if you'd like, you're going to be paying whatever the number indicated by the environment. So red pays 91. I'm gonna do a launch for blue in the same environment. By the way, I'm playing against myself, so some moves might not make that much sense, but I'm more focused on telling the story, on putting this I guess context around the game mechanics, because at the end of the day, the simulation is a simplified version of a theoretical model that explains how businesses or how companies and economies can be seen at very large scales. Okay, so red launches the second product that requires a payment of 6. So we're going to do 91 minus 6, that's 85. We're going with blue in the same environment, just a little bit higher value if you'd like. That also brings blue to 85. Okay, so red launches in the environment. It requires a payment of 8. That brings us to 77. Blue goes to right next to it. That's 80. Red goes in the 2-notch square environment. Requires payment of 5. This is 72. Blue pays 8, so that's 72 as well. Okay. Red pays 3, and this brings the budget or the funds to 69, the cash in bank. Blue pays 2, this is the cash goes down to 70. Red launches in 2 notches triangle. environment. That requires a payment of 2. The cash goes down to 67. Okay, blue goes at the top in the 3-notch triangle environment. That's a payment of 3. Comes to 67. Okay, red launches and pays for, okay, 66. Blue comes right next to it, 66. Okay, red pays 4. This is 62. Blue pays 4 as well. 62. And the last round of launches. So this is 7. The cash goes down to 55. And by the way, think of these as millions, 55 millions if you'd like, since we're talking about products. But for simplicity, we're only looking at the first digits. So blue concludes the first stage of this competition. Both teams basically have launched, have positioned their products, and their cash in bank is at the same level. So now it's just a matter of operating. As you can see, the formulas on the screen, you can move in any direction, just one cell. And the trick is to create those alignments or synergies where you bring in horizontal alignment at least 3 pieces. Those alignments represent synergies. I know synergies might be a big word, but it refers to the act or the process of sharing some sort of resources of components. And therefore, instead of having, let's say, 3 products built separately, you would share some of those, some of the resources, and as a result, your aggregated profit from those 3 products is going to be higher when you share resources. So those are called synergies. In this case, these are alignments, and you're gonna basically make bonus, and that's key to this game, which is exactly what's happening in real life. CEOs of large corporations try to be very thoughtful and to create portfolios that are synergistic, that could lead to what it's called totals that are higher than the sum of the parts. That's how you win at this game. So let's enter the second stage now with operating these businesses. So red goes first here. So what I'm going to do, let's see, for red, I'm simply going to operate this business here at the top in the center. It's a move downward, which is the equivalent of operating a business, and as a result, you are collecting profit, obviously, but also the value, the perceived value of the product commoditizes, so it moves downward. So we're making 6 here for the red team, and that's going to be 61. Blue team, let's say it's getting more aggressive and it's kicking out of the market or killing a red product in the 3-notch triangle space with a downward move. Think of it as having a product of a higher perceived value, and then you're dropping the prices, and basically you're squeezing out the competitor. So from this, blue makes 3 millions, but also it got rid of one of the red's products. So, okay, so red's turn, let's say just downward operation, red makes 9. This brings the cash to 70. Okay, blue, let's say it's moving down here right at the top in a 3-notch square environment, and it makes 6. This brings the cash to 64. And now we're going to have the first alignment or synergy of the game. So red in the 9 box, if you like, or the 3 notches pentagon, operates the business of that product. The product commoditizes, but now it brings it basically in alignment with the other two. So as you can see in the formula, the way we calculate the cash in is first we have the action, which is 9 from the operation. So let's just put it in here. So that brings us to 79. But then we have a bonus for each of those pieces or products in alignment. So it's 6 plus 8, which is 20. So 79 plus 20, we get to 99. As you can see, that the gap between the cash of the two teams starts to widen, and in big part because of this first alignment. So the alignments, like the synergies in real life, are extremely important for the success of a company, and of course the CEO who's running that company. So now we got the red made the synergy. So blue is up to move. What we're going to do here, let's say I'm going to do a lateral move. This is 0 because the profit that results from operating a business is being canceled out by the innovation efforts of making the product more complicated, or more complex, if you'd like. So it has more components or more processes, but this helps us basically get into a space or environment that has a higher margin. So we moved from 6 from an environment that had a 6 profit margin to a 9. But the move itself is 0. So what we're going to have now, let's say red is trying to kind of run away from that piece that just got moved on top, and moves down, takes out the blue, and makes 8 from that particular move. So it's 99 plus 8, so it's 107. That's the cash for the red team right now. Let's see. Blue actually moves down because notices that the red piece is blocked by another red piece underneath. So it's going to be, sure, there are options to move laterally, but let's assume that it's just blocked there. Like I said, I'm playing against myself, so this is not super competitive, or some moves don't make necessarily sense. It's more of an illustrative demonstration of how the game and some of the meaning behind it is. So blue moved down. This is 9, a gain of 9. So it's 64 plus 9. This brings us to 73. Let's say red moves down from 2 notches pentagon environment, and that basically it's 8 for red. That brings the cash to 115. Blue moves down in 2-notch pentagon environment and takes out the red, and it makes 8. And this brings the cash to 81. 73 plus 8. Okay. Red is ready to move on in the environment 1-notch square. You see I can make a lateral move with the red and basically make another alignment there, which I'm going to do. So the action itself does not generate anything because it's a lateral move, so it's 0. But then I'm getting bonus because this is a new alignment. I'm getting a bonus for each of those pieces, and the bonus corresponds to the number where each of the pieces is positioned. So I have 4 plus 7 plus 7. So that's 18. So then I get 115 plus 18, that's 133. Okay. Blue must move now. So let's say I'm trying to kind of maximize. I'm going to move the piece that's in the environment with profit 9, moving it down since the formula uses the cell, the position of the originating cell, this is going to be an income of 9 for the blue. So this brings the cash to 90. Red's turn. Let's see, moving in the center and moving down. This is a 5. This brings the score of cash to 138. Blue is getting aggressive, is going to take this piece in the center and one notch square environment. It's taking the red out and makes 5. This brings the cash for blue at 95. Red also moves down. That's a 5. This brings the cash to 143. Blue runs down with a downward move. That's a 94. That's a 4, and it's 4 plus 95. That's 99. And now again we see red makes, with a downward move, makes another alignment. So how do we calculate this? From the action itself, it's downward move. We use the number from the originating cell, which is, so it's 5. Let's say we put it here first. 143 plus 5, it's 148. But now we have the bonus, so it's 4 plus 7 plus 7, so it's 18. So it's 148 plus 18, which goes to 166. Okay, so now let's see. We continue to move down with the blue. The blue obviously is losing this this game so far. So the downward move, it's an 8. So this brings the cash for blue to 107. Let's say red goes and takes, with the downward move in the center, takes out the blue and makes a 4 millions, as I said. So it's, the cash goes to 170. Blue moves down from 2-notch pentagon environment and takes out the red and makes 8. So it's 115 here. And now we have red. Let's say red continues to move down. This is 7, 177. Let's see. Blue moves from the, in the environment that's 2-notch pentagon, makes an 8. So that's 123. Red wants to speed up the end of this game, or to try to exit with all the businesses, and you only gain money if you exit from the bottom row. If you exit from any other row, basically you have to pay 9, which is a penalty because you're missing a lot of opportunities. You didn't take advantage of all the investment, and that's kind of the meaning behind it. So red moves down, makes a 7 here, so this brings us to 184. Blue again moves down in the pentagon 2 notches environment, and that's an 8, so it's 131. And again, this game is not super strategic. Like I said, it's just me explaining how things work. Obviously, if you want to play competitively, it's actually beautiful. There's a lot of thinking that goes into it, because it's not just a position and trying to run away or to protect yourself from being taken out, but you also want to create these, if you like, groups, these alignments. And at the same time, you have to keep in mind the money factor, because the money, the cash, is what is going to determine the winner of the game. Okay, so let's see, back to red. Red moves, let's say, from the bottom in the environment defined by pentagon and one notch. We exit, it's bottom row, so we make 7. So it's 184 plus 7. This brings us to 191. But now, blue makes the first synergy, the first alignment of the game for that team, for that company. So we have the action itself was a move downward, so it's 8. So this brings the cash to 139. And now we have bonus for each of the piece product in alignment. So it's 7 plus 7 plus 7. So it's 21. So basically, this brings us to 160. As you can see, the cash, even though the gap was significant at one point, one simple alignment could actually make a difference. And as you can see, we're getting closer. And not only that, but there are not that many red pieces around this alignment to threaten it. So red, basically what it can do right now is trying to speed up because it cannot come to surround the blue and try to take those pieces out. Red will try to end the game sooner because the game ends when one of the teams has all the pieces taken off the board. You could exit just right away from anywhere on the board, but if you're not on the bottom row, you pay a penalty of 9. So as you can see, the gap is not that significant right now. Maybe we'll do it just as an experiment, since, like I said, I'm playing against myself. And so let's try the first move. Red, let's say it's rushing towards the bottom row, trying to exit business. So moving that piece makes it 4, so it's 195. Then what blue can do, it's simply opens the alignment, and then with the intent of obviously moving back there, and because it's going to be considered a new alignment, it's going to make bonus again. So it's a lateral move, no cash for blue. It's just 0. Now in the center, red, as I said, it's rushing to finish this game, to stop it, to stop the blue from creating more money. So the environment defined by one notch square, we have a red there at the bottom. We can exit with it, and we're going to make 4. So this brings the cash for red to 199. But as I said, blue now is moving back into alignment. And even though the action itself was 0 because it's a lateral move, but we get bonus for those 3 pieces. So it's 7 plus 7 plus 7, so it's 21. And this brings the cash to 181. Now, again, the red has one piece at the bottom on the bottom row. It's going to get rid of that one. It's going to exit and makes 1, which brings the score to 200, or the cash. And keep in mind that the pieces that are left on the board once the game stops don't count for anybody. So whatever blue has here on the board, it's going to be left there. Only the money that's been accumulated so far count. So what blue is doing, it's doing again, trying to make another alignment. So it's lateral move to open that alignment. Red is gonna maybe move down in the center, so makes a 5, so that's 205. Yeah, blue moves back into alignment, and this brings it another 21. Like I said, 0 from the action, but 21 as a bonus. And this brings, interestingly enough, the total cash for blue to 202. Now, as you might suspect, probably red has already lost the game. So the team can either kind of give up, or let's say just to kind of finish it, to take all the pieces off the board. Let's say we're gonna take out the one right in the middle, and that brings us to, because it requires a payment of 9, brings us down to 196. The blue can simply just move down from alignment, and that's a 7. It brings the cash to 209. And basically the red will take the last piece off, and that brings the score to 187. So as you can see, even though red started pretty strong, it had 2 or 3 alignments and significant gap in cash, things kind of turned around. Just to kind of give you an idea of the strategy, right? Blue created an alignment pretty late right here in the corner, and it was the only alignment that, if I remember correctly. But basically, because red was already gone, red just didn't have that power of trying to surrender and to kill and take out these products. So blue wins this game today. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you'll join me for other sessions. I'm going to try different scenarios, different things, but the goal here by using this format is to talk over the game. Like I said, they're not very competitive because I'm playing against myself, but it's more about giving you an explanation and kind of a broader context of how this game can be enjoyed when played as a pure strategy abstract game or as a learning tool where you're talking about commoditization, innovation, synergies, and all kinds of things that you will be learning or someone who's working with you will be learning in other settings. So thanks once again for watching, and I hope I'll see you soon.